The NFL season is wrapped. What's next for the Purple and the National Football League? We're talking UFC, ultimate fighting with this Minnesota champion. This former North Star is fighting to stay in the game. We catch up with Brian Lawton and spring Twins style, almost here. The skipper weighs in. It's all ahead. It's game on. Now that the NFL season is over, what are you going to do to fill your time?
I'm going to mope and whine about the Packers winning. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan, and it's hard. This is hard. You have to understand this is hard.
And a very good morning to you. You found Game On, powered by the Courtside Bar and Grill. Great to have you with us. I'm Rod Simons, and what a week it has been for Viking fans. After the Super Bowl celebration that has lasted this long, Green Bay beating Pittsburgh last Sunday, we'll be talking about football. We have a packed show for you. We have ultimate fighting. We'll be talking hockey, Wolves, the MIAC. We'll get some Twins in there. And let's set it this Sunday with our Game On by the numbers. Packers win their 4th Lombardi Trophy in 5 super games. That's what it's been around all week long. Now, in the NFL season, the CBA discussions will go center stage to save the National Football League season in 2011. NFL Draft is April 28th in New York City. Rick Spielman told us last week that that will go on regardless of the CBA. Spring training is near for the Twins. We'll talk about that. And the Wolves at their NBA All-Star break. Okay. And we start Game On today talking hockey. Couldn't be more delighted to have this former North Star and NHL great Brian Lawton in the house. Welcome.
Thanks, Rod. My pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you here. Now, what are you doing now? You left Tampa Bay, and as you leave, all the players that you put together are starting to gel and win, and you're looking for more work.
Exactly, and quite frankly, that's the resume. Steve Yzerman is doing a great job down there. He deserves a lot of credit, the new general manager. Guy Boucher, the new coach, has really been terrific, and in my opinion, the difference, the bulk of the players are back from last year. The top 6 scorers were all on the team last year. Good bunch of guys finding success. They're 3rd overall in the league now. It's been impressive. They've done a terrific job.
It takes time, and you have to have an ownership that allows you to take the time to do your work, and essentially you didn't have enough time.
Well, 2 years is probably not a realistic time frame to judge anybody in this business. Yeah. When I got to Tampa, we were 30th, which is dead last in the league. I was let go last year at the end of the year, and now the team's currently 3rd in the NHL, so that's a pretty big jump up. That's a short period of time. It's pretty good progress.
The Lawton file is an impressive one. Let me take a look for you. North Star's first pick in the 1983 draft, first U.S. player ever selected, number 1 overall, played in the NHL from 83 to 93, 483 NHL games with 6 teams, and as we just mentioned, the former GM in Tampa Bay. You want to get back into the game, and turnover happens. You got to be pretty confident with the way Tampa Bay is, those players that you picked are playing, you're going to get back.
Well, I'm really happy for the group of guys, and like I said, that's the resume, the trades we made, the free agents we signed. We brought a St. Cloud State native, Ryan Malone, who used to be a client of mine down there. We made a couple trades for Steve Downey, Teddy Purcell. These are core guys on the team now, and that's what people are going to evaluate me on.
When you come back here, people recognize you and still love you. This is a great place to wait it out and pick your next move, isn't it?
It is. Unfortunately, the day I got fired, the happiest people in the family were my children, because they knew we'd be coming back to Minnesota, and they just love it here. Yeah. They missed it. They missed playing amateur hockey. I have a son that's a bantam and a squirt, and I have a daughter that's 6 also, but they absolutely love Minnesota, and so do I.
I asked you about this earlier. When you have the chance to do it over again, will you do anything differently, you think?
The big thing is autonomy. You know, the thing that was out of whack for the Tampa Bay Lightning when I was there is we never got the right coach. And we've seen this in the past with teams like Washington. They changed Glenn Hanlon to Bruce Boudreau and took off. We saw it with Chicago just last year when they changed Dennis Savard, who was a magnificent player, and to Joel Quenneville, and the team took off. We saw it with Pittsburgh when Dan Bilesma came in and led them to the charge. That's what the Lightning did. That's what happened after I left. They brought Guy Boucher in, and he's been magnificent.
Awesome. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Brian about the Wild. He catches the games. He watches the home team. We'll ask him about that. Don't forget, if you want to catch us at a taping, we'd love to have you here next week. Former Viking guard Adam Goldberg now plays for the St. Louis Rams, as well as Hall of Famer Paul Molitor will be in the house, be part of the live taping and autographs, T-Wolves and Swarm ticket giveaway, free raffle and drink specials too. Love to have you. Game On, powered by the Courtside Bar and Grill. More talking UFC as well as final words from Brian Lawton when we come back here on Game On.
Get ready to enter the hive. Rule number 1, always wear a helmet. Rule number 2, don't blink.
The biggest lead of the night. That's a shot to go.
Swarm Lacrosse returns to the XL Energy Center. For tickets, call 1-888-MN-SWARM or visit MNSwarm.com.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Liberty Comfort Systems.
Get the latest in innovation and technology at Liberty Comfort Systems. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
What are you going to do without NFL football now?
Actually, I'm a hockey fan, so my off season's pretty taken care of right now.
And yes, we do have life without football for just a few months. Welcome back. It's Game On, powered by Courtside Bar and Grill. Rod with Brian Lawton, former North Star great. What is it like going from an agent to an NHL executive? It's got to be night and day.
It really is. You know, you were describing how I was. You sat in a suite one time with me at XL Energy Center for one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit looser then. As a GM, you're a little bit more tense. You're kind of almost reliving the games again. It's tough. It's really tough. It's very different. You're trying to evaluate people. There's a lot of money at stake. I really enjoyed it, but it was a completely different feel.
Looking at this Wild team, we've both been watching them. I see them coming together. I'm not sure they're a playoff team. You know hockey better than I do. What's your thought?
Well, the one thing I'd say is over the 2 years that Todd Richards has been here and Chuck Fletcher, is I see the team getting stronger, and I think that's a good sign. They're at a very competitive Western Conference. Anybody could get in, they're out, they're 5th, 6th, 9th, 10th. It's got to be right down to the wire, but I think they're doing an excellent job. I really do.
Will Lawton Dress help them achieve that goal, getting him back?
I think so. That was a big loss for them. They don't score a lot, but when you have Nick Backstrom on your team and he plays the way he's played this year, you got a chance to win every night, and it's going to be tough down the stretch for them, but they certainly have the players to get the job done.
Don't be a stranger. Next chance we get when you get that NHL job, let's have you back. Let's celebrate.
Absolutely.
Brian
Thanks,
Lawton
Rod.
in
Good
the
to
house.
see you.
Thank you for being here. Great to have Brian Lawton in the house. It's true. Baseball's a week away. Excitement is building. The Twins are off to Florida. Make no mistake, even skipper Ron Gardenhire can't wait to trade all this snow for sunshine and another title run.
I love these players. They're going to get after it. They're very professional, and they're all excited. You talk to every one of them, and the Pavanos and Tomies, the reason they came back is because they know we have a chance to win, and they want to be a part of that, and they love playing here. The fans, the whole package, it's as good as it gets, so it's exciting.
Great to hear from the skipper. We'll be talking Twins more extensively down in Fort Myers. Check our website for more information. This is The Fighter. Great to talk UFC. It is the fastest growing sport in America. Sean Sherk is in the house, the pride of St. Francis. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Nice to see you. Doing
You too.
great. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're getting back from injury. You're waiting to fight again.
Yeah, rough sport. Been in this industry for a long
little
time.
bit rough, yes.
So, you always have injuries, and it just depends on the extent of the injury. Is based on how long you got to wait before you fight again. So,
What are you battling here?
a little bit of everything. I tore my shoulder a couple times, having some problems with my knees. Some back issues. So a little bit of everything.
The Sherk file is a very impressive one, and let's take a look at it right now for you. He is the Muscle Shark 38 4-1, and only those 4 losses came to champions. So he's a very, very competitive fighter, one of the best of all time. Originally fought at 170 in UFC because there was no 155, and then he was the first to win in that division at 155, beating Kenny Florian. Started at 7 in his wrestling matches, and trains at the academy in Minnesota. So when you look at the game itself, UFC is the fastest growing sport. It's amazing.
It's blown up. You know, I've been in this industry for 11 years, and you know, you look at back when I started 11 years ago, nobody even knew what mixed martial arts was.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what UFC was. And now everywhere you go, everyone knows about it. Everyone's talking about it. Every bar is airing it. So it's definitely been the fastest growing sport I've ever seen in my lifetime.
It is something to be a part of. When we come back, we'll be talking more about the UFC with Minnesota's pride and joy. Don't forget, you can go to our website and get all the information and links to Sean's site as well. It's GameOnTVMN.com. Great blogs too. Brandon on baseball, the boss on MMA, and extensive talk on the Vikings with Shocker's Locker and Holt on hockey. And we link you up to purplepride.org, which is the unofficial Vikings fan site. Check us out. It's GameOnTVMN.com.
So, you're looking for a night out with the guys. Guy stuff. Sports. Beer. Fun. What about catching a Wolves game? The Guys Night Out package gives you a ticket, beer, hot dog, and a chance to meet the Timberwolves dancers, all for just $15. That sounds like guy stuff. Log on to timberwolves.com to get your tickets today.
Wallingberg and Diebly believes in families. We understand and support families in all their many forms. And when legal problems arise in the family, Wallingberg and Diebly is there. Wallingberg and Diebly, the premier family law firm of Minnesota. When you need us, call 612-326-3453 or visit wbdlaw.com.
Now that the NFL season is over, what are you going to do to fill your time?
It's all about the Minnesota Wild. I have all my time to spend watching their games.
Welcome back. It's Game On, powered by the Courtside Bar and Grill. Great to have you with us. Rod with the UFC champ, Sean Sherk. When you look at a UFC fight, now, years ago, there was a great deal more controversy. It's a lot more mainstream now. But it is a violent sport, no question about it. But it really, really has caught on.
It's caught on, yeah. I mean, it depends on how you look at it as far as violence goes. You know, I don't think it's violent, but I'm a professional fighter. You know, I train every day. My life revolves around mixed martial arts and diet and training. So it's not, I don't consider it violent or dangerous. Right. But other people from the outside looking in, they probably view it differently.
The guys you crush look at it as violent and dangerous.
You know, I've never been too far on the bad side of a fight. You know, so you know, I've came out of a lot of fights relatively unscathed.
And you're still in the hunt. Do you want another shot at the championship? Frankie Edgar is holding the belt right now.
I would love another shot at a belt, you know. I think I'm a couple fights away from getting another shot at a title. So my division's the most stacked division in the world. There's 70-something fighters under contract as a lightweight. So 70-something fighters. There's a lot of guys on some big win streaks. So I think I'm maybe 1 or 2 good wins away from fighting for another belt.
Do you look at your fights, because you're a takedown artist, correct?
I wrestled my whole life right here in Minnesota.
Yeah, you got it down. But do you look at your opponent and say, okay, I can do this, they're expecting me to do this, I need to do something? Is it as strategic as I think it would be?
Oh, it's hugely strategic. You know, there's videos of me. I mean, I've had 43 fights in my career, so out of 43 fights, there's probably 30 of those fights are on video. So my opponents are studying all these videos. They're breaking me down point by point by point. I'm studying my opponent's videos. I'm breaking them down point by point by point. I'm looking for weaknesses. I'm looking for strengths. They're looking for my weaknesses. I'm trying to guess what they think my game plan's going to be. So there's definitely a big mental game plan strategy going on there besides the physical aspect of it.
When will you know that you are ready to go? Will you be the one that makes the call, or the medical team that works with you, or is it a combination, including the folks at UFC?
You know, I think, you know, nobody knows me better than me, so the decision's up to me. You know, when I'm ready to take on, I do 10 or 12 week training camps leading into every fight. So 10 or 12 weeks, work out 6 times a week, or 6 days a week, 2 or 3 times a day for 10 or 12 weeks. So when I know I'm 100% healthy and I can handle a 12-week training camp, then it's time to go.
No one needs Nutrisystem or any other thing when they work with you. I've seen you work out, and it is It's absolutely crazy. You're amazing.
You got to do what you got to do. You know, when you step in that cage and you have a professional fighter, you know, one of the best fighters in the world staring at you from across the octagon, he wants to do bad things to you. You know, you got to get in there, and there has to be no doubt in your mind that you're 100% ready, and I've never had that. I've never stepped into the cage and looked at my opponent and thought, gosh, I wish I would have trained a little bit harder. You know, I know I get in there, I know I'm mentally and physically ready, and I think my performance shows.
You're the best. We're so glad you're here. Sean, make sure you're not a stranger. We'll have you back, and let's kick it before your next fight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great to have you with us. Hey, time now for Who's Hot and Who's Cold, brought to us by Liberty Comfort Systems. And who's hot? It's got to be the Packers. Love them or hate them, Green Bay is king in the NFL after that remarkable late season run. The Pack is back, and folks, they are loaded for future success with young, impressive players on both sides of the ball. Many of those players are locked into contracts, so there's that window of opportunity. And also hot, kicking out cold this week, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. Joins Bart Starr and Desmond Howard as the 3 Green Bay Super Bowl MVPs. Rodgers was all that and a lot more in his biggest game, and he carries none of the Favre drama. Rodgers also the same age as number 4 when he won his first Super Bowl. That's who's hot and who's cold, brought to us by Liberty Comfort Systems. River City Saloon is the place for food, music, fun, and bikers. Bikers get the best parking spot, and inside, from business people to bikers, everyone's going to have a great time. Create your own bucket list at the River City Saloon. There are specials every night of the week and live music all weekend. Get us online at hollysrivercitysaloon.com and look for the awning just off Main and Anoka, right in the heart of the historic Anoka Entertainment District. See you soon at the River City Saloon.
How to order a pizza. Step 1, decide on toppings. And Pizza Man says, remember, cheese is included and only extra cheese is considered a topping. Step 2, pickup or delivery. And if you choose delivery, don't forget to tip the delivery person. Step 3, call Pizza Man for the TV special. Step 4, call Pizza Man in Anoka, home of the heavy toppings.
What will you do to survive without NFL football?
Is the NFL season, I mean, is it ever over? I mean, you got the draft and you got the OTAs and everything like that. Seriously, though, yeah, I mean, I follow the Wild and I follow the Twins. The Hot Stove League is really heating up. So, you know, there's plenty to do this winter.
Welcome back. It's Game On, powered by the Courtside Bar and Grill. Would love to have you join us up here. Food's good, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Awesome. H. Lake in the house. Henry Lake of K-Fan Radio. Great to have you here again, buddy.
That's a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure to be with you, Rod.
Thank you very much. Let's get right after it. The Vikings season has been over for a little while. Packers take care of business. It's been a week that's left Viking fans a little hollow.
Absolutely. We feel very bitter right now.
Yeah.
The fact that Aaron Rodgers is able to get it done. They have a franchise quarterback. They've got a really good defense. And they're Super Bowl champions. I mean, we feel bad about that.
They're loaded for the next few years.
And they're young. You look at Clay Matthews in his second year in the National Football League. You look at Aaron Rodgers, their franchise quarterback. He's only been in the league, 5 years? They have a lot of good pieces, young wide receivers, Jennings, Jones. They have a ton of weapons to work with.
Rick Spielman is here on Super Bowl Sunday, acknowledged that they have a lot of work to do. And there's a lot of distractions in the offseason. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where there's so many pieces that you have to replace, and the ultimate piece that you have to figure out is quarterback.
Two of them.
Are you going to draft a quarterback? Are you going to go after maybe somebody that's a veteran that may be available?
Yeah.
Are you going to re-sign Adrian Peterson? He's got a year left on the contract, but you need to get him a deal now. Sidney Rice, Chad Greenway. So there are a lot of things that they have to figure out soon.
And the stadium issue, they've got to get that figured out.
Yeah, they have to figure out something. I mean, they're going to get a new stadium at some point, hopefully sooner than later, you would think.
Do you believe all the banter back and forth that they could ultimately leave this town?
In terms of the posturing to go to LA, no, I do not believe that. I just can't see Roger Goodell wanting to see the Minnesota Vikings walk away from the great state of Minnesota and go to LA, where the NFL has kind of failed. And I don't think that the NFL needs to be specifically in LA. Maybe there's some other places they could go, but I don't know if the Vikings going to LA is a great move for the league.
Right. And I agree with you completely. I think that it's a lot of bravado. Don't think it's going to happen. the CBA makes me a little nervous, but you look at all these, there's so much money to be lost. I see an 11th hour agreement.
Yeah, I do see an agreement maybe taking place right around that March 4th deadline that they kind of put out there. But it's one of those situations where someone's going to have to give a little bit. Each side's going to have to give in a little bit, whether it's the 2 games and they're saying we're not going to go to 18, we're going to go to 16. If they're going to figure out the insurance stuff, if they're going to figure out the rookie scale, somebody's going to have to come to an agreement and give on both sides.
They make a lot more, players make a lot more money than most employers pay their employees. Now, as you know, H. Lake has his own show at K-Fan Radio. He knows the NBA inside and out. The Wolves a week away from the All-Star break. Are they better than their record indicates at this point?
They're better than their record indicates in terms of talent-wise, but in terms of the wins and losses, when you look at it, they're going to have to figure out what they are trying to get accomplished down the stretch late in games. I've talked to a bunch of people nationally and some former players. When you continue to lose games late and you have double-digit leads, you have to start looking at the coaching staff as well. You just can't look at the players because it's not all on the players.
Accountability issue.
Yep.
H. Lake on Sundays, K-Fan Radio. Our website, GameOnTVMN.com, gives you direct link to the man. Thank you for being with us.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Always great to have you here. More in a moment. When you need to move around the metro, call on City View White Knight Limousine. They take care of us with town cars, limousines, SUVs. City View is safe, reliable, and they will handle your needs. Get them on the web at cityviewlimo.com.
What's your 99? Wendy's new 99-cent everyday value menu now has even more tasty ways to get what you want for 99 cents. My 9 for 99. My 9 for 99. The all-new Bacon 99er with thick Applewood smoked bacon, or the new crispy chicken Caesar wrap with tender all-white meat chicken. 99. My 99.
We got your 99.
Now there's 9 tasty choices for 99 cents.
Wallingberg and Deebly believes in families. We understand and support families in all their many forms. And when legal problems arise in the family, Wallingberg and Deebly is there. Wallingberg and Deebly, the premier family law firm of Minnesota. When you need us, call 612-326-3453 or visit wbdlaw.com.
Get ready to enter the hive. Rule number 1, always wear a helmet. Rule number 2, don't blink.
The biggest lead of the night. That's a shot to go.
Swarm Lacrosse returns to the XL Energy Center. For tickets, call 1-888-MN-SWARM or visit MNSwarm.com.
Time now for the Wheels of Thunder, a week ahead. Wolves have a busy week. They get the Portland Trailblazers and the Clippers on the 14th and 16th. The Wild with 2 as well. The rival Canucks in Anaheim. The Swarm with Boston on the 19th. The Gophers on the 22nd against Michigan State. Spring training is coming up, 10 days away. The Vikings training camp is 168 days off. Don't forget, Caring for Kids with the NFL alums on the 26th of February. And the big Minnesota Golf Show is right around the corner. And as we just mentioned, tomorrow night, the Wolves host the Portland Trailblazers at Target Center. This is a Blazers team that has really had its way with Minnesota. Coach Nate McMillan told me recently that he sees a lot of similarities between these two teams, especially with one of his former players that's now a Timberwolves star, Martell Webster.
As I talk to some of the people here in Minnesota about Martell, you're getting a fine player, a great athlete, a very good shooter, a guy who's going to commit to playing the game and trying to win ball games for you.
Hey, don't forget, you can get caught up on the Wolves and the NBA. Just check out my blog at simonsays@timberwolves.com. Has all the latest information. Great NBA site full of inside information, strong Wolves viewpoints, all at your fingertips. It's interactive, so drop me a note. It's rod@gameontvmn.com, rod@gameontvmn.com, and look for a new Simon Says blog every Thursday, 11 a.m. at timberwolves.com. It is time for the MIAC Minute. Great to have you. Game on, powered by Courtside Bar and Grill. Rod with Coach John Carlson, the Gustavus swimming coach, men's and women's coach. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Big match coming out at the University of Minnesota Aquatic Center, 17th through the 19th. Tell us about the big swim event.
Yeah, it's the MIAC Championships, and it should be really exciting. There's a lot of parity in all the winter sports this year, and swimming is no different. Any one of 5 teams could win either the men's or the women's championship.
Are you the favorite again?
I would say we've got to be considered one of the best on the women's side. The men's side, we're a little bit behind, but anything can happen on It's a weird sport in that you train for 5 months for just 3 days.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, nothing matters during the regular season. All that matters is 3 days.
And the Aquatic Center is like the Taj Mahal of swimming. It is absolutely. If you've never been there, you should see. It is amazing.
It is amazing, and it's great. Friday and Saturday night in particular, we packed the place. I mean, there's fans everywhere. It was a great show.
The goal is to excel on that weekend. Am I right?
Absolutely. Everything's focused all year long on that weekend.
And so do you work managing those emotions as you lead up to that event?
Yeah, actually, there are a lot of ups and downs, and you try to keep them calm and on an even keel as much as possible.
And before I let you go in this MIAC Minute, you also coach women's tennis, and your record is an amazing, and I say amazing, 201?
Yeah, I lost one back in '91 against St. Olaf. So other than that, we've been pretty good. So
when people see you on the schedule, they just chalk up the big L. They do this.
I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but I'm hoping. So.
Great to have Coach John Carlson, the MIAC Minute. Good luck at the Aquatic Center. We'll check in.
We'll need it.
And that's it for us. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Sunday morning. Don't forget, you can check us out for more information at GameOnTVMN.com. All our links and information right there at your fingertips. And we leave you with pictures of the 2 Swarm players headed to their All-Star game. It's Ryan Benesh and Nick Patterson. Until next week, have a great one, and it's always game on.